All right, welcome everybody. People are entering the room. Very excited to have everybody here for December's elevator pitch. And we'll get started in just one moment here. Hope everybody's doing good. All right. So we are here for this month's elevator pitch, and where we come on each month. And we have three special guests that are going to give us their elevator pitch and tell us more about their products and services. Of course, we as managed service providers are always looking for ways in which we can improve our operational efficiency, become more efficient, more productive, deliver a better customer experience, as well as a higher level of security, and last but not least, allow us to become more profitable. And so that is what we are here for. And we have three special guests. We, of course, we will be kicking things off with Mike Brooks here in just a few moments and talking about Network Detective and audit. And we also have, second, we have Justin Ryle with Checkpoint. Last but not least, Mr. Eric Torres with PAX 8. And I want to mention a couple things. First and foremost, I want to make sure everybody stays till the entire end of the presentation because we have $250 that we just want to give away. We just want to give away to one lucky attendee. So if you stay all the way to the end, you have to be present to win. We will give away $250 cash. What better way a week before Christmas just to get $250 cash, right? So the other thing I want to mention too is we have our very merry MSP holiday event taking place right now. There still are about 6 more days left where we have some awesome prizes. Our top prize is actually from PAX 8. The top prize is a $500 Ticketmaster gift card and a NFL jersey of your choice, and which is pretty cool. We still have some gift boxes left. We've got our magic gift boxes, our MSP holiday very merry gift boxes that we're giving out. If you register, we will ship one of these to you. There's some special prizes inside, and there are some golden tickets in them. The golden tickets, as you see here, if you have a golden ticket inside the box, it will get you free access to one of four major events. We've got Zero Trust World by ThreatLocker. Of course, we have Kaseya Connect Global coming up in April, PAX 8 Beyond in June, and DattoCon in October. So if you do get a golden ticket in your box, you will be getting free admission to one of those four events that are taking place. So Talon will throw into chat as well as out on YouTube comments a link that you can register for that. So as we kick things off, we will have each of our three presenters. They'll get 10 minutes to give us their elevator pitch. Once all three are done, we're going to open up our demo rooms. And basically, what's going to happen is in those demo rooms is you'll be able to have some additional questions answered as well as some hands-on learning. So a lot of great stuff. We're going to pack a lot into this 1 hour. So without further ado, we're going to start with Mike Brooks. And Mike, how are you doing today?
Doing good after I unmute myself. I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike, before you kick off your presentation,
Sure.
we're going to have you tell us one unique thing about you that our audience might not know.
Oh man, I knew that question was coming because I've been on this before, but I wasn't
Yeah,
prepared. I hate being unprepared. Um,
yeah.
yeah, there's probably lots of things that people don't know. Gosh, I'm a tea addict. So
Okay.
people, I guess, who know me know I always have a cup of tea in my hands. But I probably drink like
Nice.
3 pots of tea a day. So I have a
Oh,
tea.
wow. I about 12 years ago quit drinking any kind of pop and switched to green tea, and that's all I've had in the last 12 years. And I'm seeing a comment from Miles about Madison Square Garden. You want to tell us about that?
Oh yeah, Matt Miles Walker from Kaseya, my counterpart there on the other end of the North America was in New York, so I'm in Connecticut. So we talked about meeting up in Madison Square Garden and going to see a Knicks game, and he wanted
Nice.
to go because it was his first time seeing a basketball game or seeing a basketball game in New York, right?
In New York. Yeah.
It was my first
Very
time seeing a
cool.
basketball game, period, live. So it's fun.
Nice. Very cool. Well, we'll go ahead and I'll turn things over to you. We'll go ahead and start the 10-minute timer, and it is all yours, my friend.
All right. So I'm not going to assume people know what Network Detective Pro and Audit is. So I'll just briefly explain it. Network Detective Pro is a technical and IT assessment solution. And you use this to scan your IT environment, your network, workstations, cloud, everything. And Audit is a sales presentation tool. So MSPs use Audit to create a compelling, simple, non-techie sales presentation, and the two are almost opposites in a sense. Network Detective is a very technical tool, and Audit is a very non-technical tool. And when I first came into the channel with Audit, this is going back 2015, we launched, and there was a bit of competition there. People would come over to us and say, I use Network Detective, or at the time they call it Rapid Fire Tools. So some of you may know it as Rapid Fire Tools. Under the umbrella of Rapid Fire Tools, there are several products. So Compliance Manager GRC, Volscan, and Network Detective. So, but at that time, back then, it was just Rapid Fire Tools. People would come over to our booth and they would say, I've got this tool, and it's so technical, and it prints this report that's this thick. I don't know if you can see my hands on the screen. It's got this thick report. I slam it down on the desk and my prospect's eyes glaze over. It's just too technical. I love this report. Now, vice versa, over on the other side, because we became very good friends with the folks at Rapid Fire Tools, and we knew what they were up against, and they were hearing things like, "Boy, this audit is great. If only you guys could populate it. Like, we can't scan the data from you and pull it into audit." Audit was basically, think of audit as PowerPoint templated PowerPoint for MSPs on steroids, right? You've got this beautiful presentation, but you've got to go create it. You got to click on a box, bring up a dialogue, and choose what you're going to say about that particular thing. So you might choose workstations, and you choose red, and you say the workstations need updates, or 5 out of 10 workstations need updates. So it takes time to do that, right? You've got to go gather the information from a tool like Network Detective, from your own fact finding, and then you've got to come back to audit and sit down and present that report. But the results for both tools, very popular tools, right? People who used audit absolutely still love it. And I tell people that the testimonial I always would get, as weird as it sounds, I'd always ask our customers, how did you, what do you like about the tool? And they would always say, it's like selling green boxes. They basically go in, they put the report down. There's a red box here, red box there. The customer leans in and goes, "Why is that box red?" And they're fidgeting in their seat, and they're engaged, they're interested. And that's what happens when you present things in a non-technical way. So the sale, whether it's a new customer or current customer in a business review environment where you're trying to get them to take your advice, instead of fighting you on it, they go, "Well, how much is it going to cost to buy a green box?" And you tell them it's only going to cost this much, and they go, "Okay, let's buy that green box." So the report works. We've got, from 2015 on, it was acquired by Kaseya back in recently. You probably heard about that a couple of years back. So we became part of the Kaseya family, and we always kind of sat down with Network Detective and said, how do we integrate these two things? And we've been working on that for a long, long time. And now we've got it, and we call it the next generation solution for winning new business. So we go through here. Oh, wow, time goes by when you're chatting. Growth. couple of challenges we have, right? Growth, time, and visibility. Growth, the new clients are the lifeblood of any business. So without a way to present complex data in simple, non-technical, compelling way, the clients aren't going to see the value of what you're selling. And when that happens, you're going to lose business. You know, you need to go beyond the typical technical reports and create a sales presentation that gets you to yes. But of course, time, you don't have an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours to sit down and cobble together a report from all sorts of different things. And visibility in today's world where everything and anything can be connected, a connected device, you need data from more than just the network. The better your data, the more you can protect your clients and show unparalleled value, but true, comprehensive, trusted data that goes deep and wide to scan the cloud and every connected device. That's kind of a black box for some folks. So Network Detective solves all that for you. And just to kind of give you a breakdown here, this is how Network Detective can help. And we've kind of coined this as Network Detective plus Audit, almost like coming together of two products. Still Network Detective. And if you're familiar with Audit, you use Audit. If you're a user, you're going to continue to use Audit the way you have. We're going to eventually migrate folks over just to simply access it through Network Detective portal instead of the Audit portal, just to keep things really, really easy. But thousands of MSPs have been using Network Detective for years to grow their business and make their life easier. It's the only comprehensive IT assessment tool purpose-built for MSPs to help them manage the entire customer lifecycle, from new client acquisition to efficient onboarding, to expansion of the client relationship, to renewals of managed service contracts. It goes way beyond checklist products and standalone diagnostic tools to automate the entire process, from network discovery to data analysis, through the automatic generation and distribution of the right reports at the right time. And I say that because it's not just about Audit. Network Detective has a deep, deep bench of reports that you can use for almost any circumstance, from your sales presentations to the most technical deep dive. Solutions priced to be affordable, even for the smallest MSPs. And of course, it's very scalable. Software can help MSPs like you to grow your business and enhance your client relationships. Really close more business, onboard clients more efficiently, justify the value of your services, expand client relationships, report on changing on client environments, and retain more customers. So again, the next generation of sales and prospecting reports, Network Detective married into Audit here. And now, if you're familiar, if you're a user of Network Detective, I know we've got a lot of users out there who use it. It's fully integrated into Network Detective Pro, providing MSPs with an intuitive, non-technical, sales-friendly way to present this collected scanned data at no additional cost. So if you are, you're not going to pay for both. And if you're currently using, there's really great deals for users of one or the other, or both, to migrate them onto one billing platform. One of the things you're going to notice if you haven't seen Audit in a while is this is now expanded. So the Audit report used to be 1, 2, 3, 4 categories. You could only put 4 on a report. Now you got up to 9. So it's an all new report, kind of rebuilt and reimagined in a way to kind of expand for the ever expanding amount of things you guys have to do. So lost my button. So just a couple of things before my 2 minutes is up here. Automatically transforms complex data into visually engaging, intuitive reports, highlights recommendations from Network Detective assessments, and it's all done now with this sync with assessments. Now you go out and you scan, pull that data in, just sync it. Your report is done in minutes. Now you can change anything. So if you're familiar with Audit, and a lot of our users really like the fact that they can click on a box and change things. So if you've got a false positive, false negative, or you want to change what you're saying about these results, you can. And you can still build it manually if that's what you want to do. Let's go to our reports here, just to kind of give you an idea of how Audit works. If you've never seen it, this is a high level 30,000 foot view. We call this the summary impact page. It's designed to pull your clients in, get them looking at it and going, oh my God, no wonder I'm so mad at my IT provider. Go into the detail. This is about as far as we go. We get into the business impact, and then we close the sale by comparing. Here's where you are today, right? Here's your current state. here's where we're going to take you. And there's a lot of gap between where they are today and where we're going to take them. And what we want ultimately with this audit is for them to really understand that gap, and the pain, the wider that gap, the more the pain. So that's what audit does for you. We've got all new infographics, and I'm going to go to the last page because I'm running out of time here. Um, we have a big, because we just integrated these, they're really giving a huge discount on this. So if you still got time, if you want to scan this QR code or just go to rapidfiretools.com and find Network Detective 2, book a demo with us before January 1st, you will get 30% off any plan. That's a huge savings for you guys. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. And yeah, I got to say some of the key takeaways that I got from this is simplicity, number one, effective visuals, because it comes down to, being able to look at a visual and to be able to quickly, identify strengths and weaknesses. And let's face it, people want it to look pretty, right? We want to present something that truly differentiates, the MSP from any of the competitors out there. And so awesome. So thank you. Mike will be available shortly in the demo room, and we are going to move to our second presenter. We have Mr. Eric Torres. And Eric, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. And so, of course, this one can be a tough one for Eric because when we ask about something unique about Eric, I'm sure he's going to say, I've acquired many eyeglass companies. I own Nike. You know, I mean, we all know that, right? I mean, look at all the gear you have behind you.
I got some, yeah, this is just a small amount of it. I have a lot of vices and eyeglasses and shoes are two of them.
That's awesome. So what is one other unique thing about you, Eric, that our audience might not know?
Boy, something I always share when I'm asked this question. Eric Taurus is not my real name. It's not on my birth certificate, put it that way.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
my parents thought I was going to be a girl, and that's what they prepared for. And surprise, I am not. So I went unnamed for about 2 weeks because they couldn't make
Oh,
up their mind.
wow.
So I am on my birth certificate. It says Baby Boy Taurus. So Baby Boy is my name.
Nice. That's awesome. Does your LinkedIn profile show that?
I haven't updated that, but there's some of my childhood friends. They do call me Baby Boy.
That's awesome. I always love hearing these kind of stories. I was not aware of that, so there's something definitely I learned today myself. So, all right, we're gonna kick things off with Eric and his presentation with PAX 8, and we'll go ahead and start your 10 minutes, and you are set.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you all for tuning in and taking the hour out of your day to hear us all with our 10-minute pitches. Today, we're talking about a PAX 8 amongst that. And what quick intro to me, aside from what's been shared, I'm VP of Channel here at PAX 8. I've been around for quite a long time. Spent many years on the vendor side, spent even more time on the MSP side. So I bring a lot of different viewpoints to what I share with people and what I educate them about. And throughout my entire journey on the vendor side, I was looking at PAX 8, and they came into this quite a few years back and just caused this disruption. And even myself, way back then, I'm looking at it going, okay, what's a marketplace? What's a cloud marketplace? How does this really benefit? And then I started seeing all the momentum that they were building over those years. And now eventually I joined the team, and I get to help share what we've been up to and where we're going, which is what I'm going to share with you in the next 9 minutes here. So starting with where we are today, we've built an amazing community. Inside of our marketplace today, we've got over 140 different vendors available for you guys right now. Speaking of you guys, the MSPs, there are 35,000 individual MSPs and IT providers globally that are relying on the Pax8 marketplace to help them procure their software licensing and better boost their business. Throughout all of our partners, we are supporting over 500,000 end customers. That equates to over 15 million end users. And just to put this in a bigger scope, we are transacting every single minute, and we are quickly on our way to every single second. So you can see the scope of what we've been building here at Pax8 over the years. Now, I want to share what makes us different, because as an MSP, you've got a lot of different avenues and resources available to you for procuring your licensing and getting the value adds that you expect from your vendors. Now, I mentioned the disruption. And when I look at disruption and when a new player comes into the scene and they start causing all this disruption, it truly helps raise the tides for everybody. So it helps with innovation. And that's where we are staking our flag in the ground, saying, look, we are disruptive, we are innovative, and I'm going to share with you what truly does set us apart from some of the others that are out there, and why 35,000 MSPs globally are relying on us. Now, we understand that the pressure is fierce. Right now, more than ever, there are more MSPs. There are people that are just getting into the game, long-established MSPs that have been growing their business for years, but the pressure is fierce when it comes to that competition, when it comes to separating yourself and preventing yourself from being that race to the bottom dollar, being that race to the cheapest MSP that's out there, the commodity. So in understanding this pressure, we also have to look at where the buying comes from. Where are people going to purchase their goods? And I can tell you that in a lot of the research that we are privy to and the partners that we have out there, $70 trillion is going to be spent on goods globally. 70 trillion globally. Now, of that, 17 trillion of that is going to be through a marketplace. Now, more and more people are used to going to a marketplace, a way to research their goods, a way to look at what other people think of their goods before they purchase them. Now, think of your own journey. Think of the things that have changed even since the pandemic, when we couldn't go outside, the world shut down and everybody started purchasing more from their desks and doing their research. I know my Amazon orders boomed. I just purchased a home in Florida, and you should see the amount of Amazon boxes that are outside every single day of this house, because I want to do my research. I want to see what other people say about a product before I purchase it. And this is where we see this marketplace going, because the buying journey has certainly changed. People are making decisions on their own, and that's not necessarily a good thing when it comes to technology. So people are going out there and they're seeing a billboard, they're seeing an ad, and they're going out there and they're researching on their own. And we know from other stats that 3 months, the typical buyer, 3 months before they even contact their IT provider, they have already started their research. They're doing this on their own, and they may not be looking at the companies that you partner with, the solutions that you recommend. Maybe that billboard in the airport isn't the solution that you want to sell them that's best for their needs. So we have to adjust in the way that we're doing this. The buying journey has changed, so also when it comes to procuring your goods, that has to change and has to match. Reason number 2 for all of this change is Gen Z. And I say that tongue in cheek because Gen Z is truly changing the game. And we can't ignore them. They make up, by this year, by 2025, coming up next year, they will make up 25% of the workforce. And Gen Z purchases things differently. They want to make their own decisions. They want to do their own research. And quite frankly, they don't even want to talk to people. They want to just go in, do their research, purchase an item, click now, buy it, and then we're done. The human interaction is slowly removing itself from more and more MSP sales, especially as this 25%, as Gen Z starts coming into making more and more business decisions that are out there. This is the reason that cloud marketplaces have been booming lately. And I'm going to take you through what cloud marketplaces that other solutions are doing, other offerings are doing, They're simply reskinning their catalog. That's all they're doing. They're making it a better interface. And that's not necessarily what separates Pax8 from the others that are out there. So let's look at this disruption. Next few minutes that I have here, what truly does separate ourselves from the true dreaded D word distributor model that a lot of the other companies are using. So I want to show you guys the Pax8 marketplace and how 35,000 MSPs globally are taking advantage of all of the resources that are here. It starts with this brand new Opportunity Explorer. We launched this last June at our all partner conference in Denver. But Opportunity Explorer is this. Think of it this way. You have all of your clients lined up. You can look at your clients through a binoculars, and you can really drill down deep and see all of their licensing, find any gaps that are in there, find potential sales opportunities that are in there, and really get their software licensing really dialed in and exact. This Opportunity Explorer is a way to see all of your clients as a whole and then really drill down deep and really find that analysis, do that analysis to find out where are the gaps, where can I have more sell opportunities, and where can this client even scale back a little bit? Where can I save them some money so that then I can position the next project for them? Also, we announced product recommendations. This to me is absolutely killer. So we have behind the scenes inside of our tech, we look at all 35,000 partners globally. And maybe it's a specific vertical that you're in. We are able to make recommendations based on what average MSPs of your size and your vertical are positioning to their clients. So imagine, I'll just walk you through, imagine you're in the legal vertical. We can now compare all of your legal clients to the clients of other MSPs globally and seeing what software are they selling their legal clients. How many licenses are they using? What other opportunities? What cross-sell and upsell opportunities? So that you and your sales staff can go in and say, okay, well, I've got some product recommendations that I need to make for my client. Let me go in here and see what the best in the world is doing for their customers. You can't go to an event without hearing about security posture. We have also built in a security posture aspect of this where we expose any gaps using the CIS controls to help you sell some of the security solutions that are built right into the stack. And speaking of the solutions, we also have built into there where you can take a look at any of the number of vendors within our marketplace to see how others view that whole Amazon-like experience. What are others using that are out there? How much are they selling it for? What are their margins? And using that as a crowd way of doing business and really putting your best foot out there. We have a full-fledged quoting system built right inside of our tool set, so you can send these quotes right to your clients, have them click, have them purchase, have them edit, and away you go with procuring the software. Now, as I'm going through this here, another big fear that we all had as an MSP, when I was an MSP, customers going direct to vendors. We are combating that. You are able to now set up your own storefront. So your clients that want to do their own research, the Gen Z that wants to go out there and purchase their own goods, they can go to your storefront, you control that, and then you can go in and say, yes, here's what we recommend for your specific location. Not only that, but you can also see what they're clicking on. You will get a view of what they're clicking on, what they're downloading, and what they're looking at. Now, lastly, the big guys, the vendors that are out there, they want this going through an MSP rather than direct. So what we are doing and what we're seeing is they see a 5x value on that sale by going through an MSP because that relationship is built, that's established, that's sticky. We are now building in buy now buttons so that if your vendor goes out or if your client goes out there and tries to purchase direct, you will hear about it. We will alert you and say, yes, go out there and take care of your client. So all of that is done through our marketplace, helping you save money, helping you make money, all done through our Opportunity Explorer, quoting and solutions, helping you make money through our improving security posture storefronts and the acquisition engine inside of that buy now button. We will love to share with you all more about this during our conference coming up next June in Denver. It's called Beyond 25. Let me know if you'd like to attend. And last but not least, we launched a new partner program, Voyager Alliance. I will be here after this, and we'd love to chat with you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. And I was at Beyond last year, incredible event, and it was just mind blowing to see the new marketplace experience, especially with the Opportunity Explorer and what you guys have done with that is pretty amazing. And one other thing I wanted to mention too, on a call last week on our MSP discussion group call, one of the MSPs was talking about a challenge he had with Microsoft, and another MSP said, "Well, who are you using? Who are you buying that from?" And I don't remember who he said, but he's like, you should switch over to PAX 8 because anytime we have issues, we just go directly to PAX 8 and they help take care of it, and he goes, it just takes a load off our back, for us having to do a lot of that due diligence. So I just wanted to share that. I thought that was, a pretty cool tip that MSP had brought to our attention. So
Absolutely. That's probably the number one reason that we're seeing that first wave come over, and then from there it's all the value adds that, just like the MSP model, you add value to your services. That's exactly what we're doing.
absolutely. All right, we're going to move on to our next guest. We have Checkpoint. We have Justin Ryle.
Yeah.
Justin, are you
No,
ready to
I, I
roll?
I still do not have connectivity at my home. My internet's down. So in lieu of me going through this on my phone and fumbling along, I've invited Jim Finnerty, who is more than capable. He's the manager of
Okay.
our channel account manager team here in the US. So he's been gracious
Yes.
enough to step in. Appreciate it.
Excellent. We'll go ahead and have Talon give Jim co-host rights here.
Yeah, and I think I used the same link as Justin, so it might be showing up as a second Justin
Oh.
Ryle. I think if you can see me talking, I don't know if my camera is working though.
Perhaps I need to drop
that,
off my
Taylor?
phone. I can do that as well. If that helps, Talon.
Yeah, I do see two Justins.
I just sent a request too, if that helps.
There we go.
There we go. Yep. All right, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm happy to step in.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start with Dan. You asked everyone like a little something about themselves.
Yeah,
I can share one thing. I got a
That'd be
message from Justin probably 35 minutes ago while I was out on a jog, saying he was having his internet issues and asking if I could help him with this. So man, if I didn't have the motivation to finish that jog strong, it was a good solid motivation for me to get back to my desk and be here with you now.
That's awesome.
I thank you for that. Already a productive afternoon for me, and
There
hopefully a
you go.
productive conversation here. I've enjoyed kind of watching the other presenters too. I'd like to add that we are Harmony Sassy. You might know of us as Perimeter 81. We were acquired by Checkpoint last September, so it's been a little over a year now. We're a proud partner of PAX 8 too, so love to see Eric's presentation, and I can attest to the good work that we do with partners of through PAX 8 as well. So
Nice.
I appreciate hearing that and seeing the audience that's enjoying this. I'll try to keep this high level. I have a few slides, and I can keep it to 10 minutes. But I'll start with a quote from one of our MSP partners. Greg Hanna is a Boston guy, actually. I was actually speaking with him this morning, so this is appropriate to see on Justin's slide deck here. So I'll read it for you. It's just an amazing technology that you have something to offer to your customers and say, look, you're not going to be playing on the internet. You're going to be in your own private network. This is the advantage. If people can't see you, they can't hack you. It's just been great for us. And Greg Hanna and Toss C3, they've been a great partner to us. So appreciate seeing those kind words. The experience for MSPs is really an added benefit to the value proposition of the technology. Think of so Harmony Sassy, what was Perimeter 81, they are one and the same. Really answers the need of network security as it relates to these new working conditions. Right, things have changed since the pandemic. People are working on the road and outside of the office. That traditional corporate network has changed. It used to look something like this. So I'm going to take you back in time for a moment. This is around 2015. We'd have offices connected to the data center with a VPN tunnel. There was generally a UTM or some kind of appliance in the office was delivering internet security capabilities to protect all the users that were in the office. on their internet journey. And that same, premise-based appliance was providing connectivity through a VPN tunnel up to, say, a cloud environment, right? Cloud adoption has been going up certainly since before 2015, but seems to be accelerating continuously. But then you also had this complication where suddenly, moving towards even pre-pandemic, we have the rise of the remote user. So this was a trend that kind of complicated things, right? Often the answer to how do we get these users outside of the office, how do we protect them, how do we give them connectivity to our data center, to this new VPC that we have in AWS or Azure? Well, let's use the VPN, right? We have a VPN for the office connection. Let's just poke it through a few more VPN tunnels through that appliance. And hey, why don't we route that through their internet traffic through that too, right? We have somebody working from the coffee shop, and we have Salesforce on the web. We've got our accounting software on the web. Everything is either in the cloud or on the web. Some legacy stuff still in the data center. Well, you can start to see how this gets pretty complex. And first and foremost, pretty miserable from a user perspective when you have a slow VPN connection, a clunky VPN connection. It's not an always-on connection. So I think as an MSP, you can probably relate to the volume of tickets that you're servicing from the poor experience or clunky experience that users have when they're outside of the traditional office and using a legacy VPN. Not just a bad experience, but this doesn't scale, right? Like how do you expand this to the larger now workforce that is continually either working from home, outside of the office, maybe on the road, maybe they're hybrid. And it's just a really poor experience for MSPs that have to manage all of this. Certainly not agile. And so come 2022, this is about the time you probably started to hear about this acronym, as if we didn't have enough in this industry, but Gartner defined SASE, Secure Access Service Edge, which was the answer, and did a lot of really good things, right? It is taking that cumbersome premise-based environment and establishing that private access and internet security consumption through a private cloud-based network. And that's very much what Perimeter 81 was doing, what we still do, but we've gone a little bit farther than this now, because what we found was relying on running all of that traffic through a cloud-based network, it adds an extra hop, right? And so there's still some difference. It's probably better, and certainly I would say better than relying on like a premise-based VPN concentrator. But depending on where those users are and what their internet pathway is through that network, it could still slow down that user experience. There's potential for privacy violations if we're sending that traffic, inspecting it in a cloud-based network. And so we have to be able to mitigate for those instances where certain traffic shouldn't be running through a network like that. And then it's costly, right? There's bandwidth consumption in a cloud-based private network. And so the traditional SASE approach that has really been growing in adoption, it's certainly better than things once were, but it doesn't address all the problems. And this is how we've done things differently. So we offer all of those SASE capabilities, this private network that is now in the cloud. I like to call this it's your new corporate network that's designed for these remote and hybrid workforce situations. But we can also deliver those same internet protections at the edge on the user's device that allows us to completely bypass the need for some of the traffic to be running through this cloud-based network. You can consume all of that security protection, enforcing it on the device, or deliver it in that cloud-based network, and you get to choose. And this allows for a much more nimble experience as you and your customers are adopting SASE. We also are one of the only players in the SASE market to deliver not just the on-device protection as an option, but a cloud-based network that allows for full mesh connectivity between all these different environments. And so this is a real advantage in simplicity. This works out of the box. And so you can have different branch locations speaking to each other. You can have branch locations speaking to the internet. You can have users that are remote speaking to a branch location or a data center. These pathways are all opened up through this private cloud-based network with the option to deliver security capabilities at the edge on the device that improves performance. And so not only is this meant to be an instructional on like, here's what sassy is, but also how sassy is already evolving. And to spell out those types of protections that you can consume and deliver to your customers through the Harmony Sassy solution, we bucket them into these two different categories. There's the private access on the right here. These are very much think of the use case as VPN replacement. It's private access to privately hosted network environments that may be on premise, they may be in a virtual private cloud environment in AWS, but you don't want these things exposed on the internet. And so this is delivering that modern zero trust security. It's delivering that full mesh connectivity that I was speaking to on the previous slide. Enhanced protections that you just can't do or super clunky to manage with legacy VPN, like device posturing or firewall controls, access controls that are identity-based. Worth pointing out that we have this private corporate network that you get from Harmony Sassy. It comes with dedicated static public-facing IP addresses. That is not the case with most of the competitors in the Sassy environment or the Sassy market. So all of that on the private access side, serving that use case for private access and securing your corporate resources, your network, and the devices that are in the field. Then there's the internet access piece. And we all know internet is a scary place. It's where a lot of breaches originate from this vector, from the internet. And so delivering all of these capabilities that you see on the left-hand side are deliverable either on device, right, at the edge, not reliant on running their traffic through any special private network if you choose to do it that way, or delivering it in the network. And depending on the use case, you might have the need to kind of combine those efforts and have some protections in the network and some protections on device. But this is going to allow you to enforce all your web filtering policy. It's inspecting traffic and protecting against malicious files, including 0 days that may be infiltrating your network or coming from internet browsing that your users are doing from outside of the office. And the additional things like SSL inspection allows us to enforce that policy. We're sandboxing so that we can do threat extraction of when users are downloading files, anti-bot, zero phishing, browser security, a really holistic answer to how are we protecting our remote users, our hybrid users, and now with these with kind of branch support and allowing you to deliver these security controls in network too. This is a pathway to remove those costly and sometimes cumbersome firewall subscriptions that are protecting the office and delivering all of that security in a much easier to deploy, much easier to manage platform and private network that's running in the cloud. In designing this, we went to users. We wanted to find, particularly for those organizations, those customers or prospective customers that are deciding on, that have decided sassy is really the future. This is where we see things going. And as we choose an appropriate vendor to work with on a sassy deployment, the most important things to them, I thought was kind of surprising. It's a security product after all, but the user experience, the end user experience being the number one. The most important aspect of their decision. I was happy to see and relieved to see richness of security features being number two. It is a security product after all. And then, of course, solution cost. And so I'd say 1 in 3. Number 2 goes without a doubt. This is a network security tool. But 1 in 3 are the areas that they match what the market is looking for. And it matches what we've delivered through this hybrid offering, being able to deliver that protection on device or in network so that we can ensure the best user experience possible, not necessarily running all traffic through a cloud-based network like you have to with most SASE offerings. And that also allows us to keep the costs much lower because we're not consuming that bandwidth and passing along those costs to customers. So I'll end with a quote, another quote from another one of our longtime partners. Harmony Sassy continues to be a critical part of Visory's security stack. What started as an optional offering has now been incorporated incorporated into a standard, which we love to see. A standard part of their stack makes their lives easier, more commonplace deployments, and certainly more business for us to enjoy together. Clients are looking for more security while working remotely and ways to lock down devices, limit web browsing while ensuring employees are only using company-owned devices, an important aspect of our device posturing feature. Harmony Sassy's always-on VPN helps deliver both a seamless deployment and enhanced security so clients can feel confident about their employees working remotely. That seamless deployment and enhanced security is really a shining spot for us against our sassy competitors, other players in the market. We really were designed for MSPs. We had the SMB in mind for this security offering from the start. And so it's allowed things like the full mesh connectivity. It works out of the box, optimized data paths, all automated, so that you can get in, do a deployment, and do so with minimal time requirements so that you can keep your service costs as low as possible, being successful with the product as possible. That's it from the Harmony Sassy perspective. Justin, do you want to add anything, or I can pass it back to Dan?
Yeah, we've got to move forward, and we can anybody that has any questions for you guys can do that in the demo rooms. I will say that the pandemic by all means helped us to understand that we need to be flexible for workers. I don't think while there are some large enterprises that are moving people back and requiring 5 days a week in the office, I don't think that work from anywhere is going anywhere, and we need to make sure that we can protect all of our users that are working from that model. So we're going to go ahead and open up our demo rooms. Before we do that, Talon is going to throw a poll out real quick and go ahead and complete that. We've got 3 of our vendors here. We've got Audit, Checkpoint, and Pax8. And go ahead and complete that poll. If you want to hear from them, we'll pass your information over to them so they can reach out to you. So as we move forward with our demo rooms, you will see at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see a button that has 4 squares that says breakout rooms. And momentarily, we'll go ahead and open up those breakout rooms. You'll be able to jump into whichever room that you wish. And if you move over to Pax8, you learn what you wanted to, you want to go over to Checkpoint or Audit, you can bounce around. And so what we'll do now is go ahead and open up those demo rooms. And for each of our presenters, you will automatically get moved to your respective demo room. As soon as we're about 120 seconds of closing the demo rooms, we'll send a notification, and everybody will get moved back to the main stage here. And last but not least, we will give away $250 cash. And with that being said, go ahead and join your respective demo room, and we will talk to you guys shortly. And I just also wanted to mention, for those that are watching us out on YouTube, this will conclude today's presentation. All the more reason to join us live. If you go to everythinmsp.com and you go under our channel events tab, you can always register to be part of the live event so you can participate, be part of the demo rooms. But with that being said, for everybody out on YouTube, thank you for watching us today. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.